Top Tier Podcast, proudly sponsored by Well Hydrate. Be the best.
The clap.
The clap.
I learnt that.
The clap.
Was it the first clap or the second one?
It could be any clap you want.
Oh, okay.
Any clap you want. John, welcome to the Top Tier Podcast.
Yes, I've waited you. I've waited for you to say that for a long time.
Yeah, here we are. It's not been easy, is it? Let's be honest.
No, even setting them cameras up.
Oh, mate.
You've kicked it twice, but we won't go into
One fell over.
Didn't fall over, you kicked it.
No, one did fall over by itself.
Oh.
The leg went.
Oh, I thought you kicked it.
Yeah. But here we are. Here we are with these little mics and things.
Yep.
And that thing should have been higher.
Yeah, I know. You made it lower.
I didn't touch it. I wasn't here.
You said go lower.
I said go higher. Yeah. Well, we are a little bit different to your average boxing promotion.
Yep.
I mean, we're doing podcasts. Normally, you'd find them on like maybe a media channel.
Yeah.
You talk about like the IFLs of the world and the boxing socials.
Yep.
Podcasts sit nicely on there.
Yeah.
But we're a promotion, and I feel like we're sitting halfway between being a promotion, but also being a bit of a media channel at the same time.
Yeah.
A media channel for our own promotion.
Yes. And what better place to do it than your own channel?
Yeah.
And I think with our personalities and our visions, we're too good to be not in this position.
No?
No, I think this is the position for us to be, because people want to be. They like our chemistry. We've got a strange little chemistry on camera, so it seems to have worked.
Strange.
Very strange.
Very strange.
Very.
Should we go back to maybe like last year?
Yep.
When you decided Top Tier Boxing?
Yeah. Well, it started with a sad story, if I'm being honest. So I met Lee Eaton. I've known him 10, 15 years. He actually got me my first ever job. He come pick me up and took me to a warehouse to shrink wrap some pallets, and then I didn't turn up the next day. No.
Yeah, I've had a few of them jobs.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then from that, like obviously in the same area, same groups of friends and that, he done EBA boxing shows. Always gave him a few little ideas. Like I watched Johnny Cole win a prize fighter tournament. And then I said, why don't you do a prize fighter? And then he done it, and Pell, he lost in it. You know Pell Scopes.
I do know Pell Scopes.
He did win one, I think, though, but he lost in it. But he had a very tough man to fight from.
Do you remember what the prize was? What the
£1,000, yeah.
Grand, yeah.
Yeah, but that's, back then it was a lot of money to us all.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that was like my first ins with boxing. And then I remember I was very hungover, and Lee Eaton, the next day, me, him and Matt Rhodes, we went to watch Kesler Froch in the O2. And I listen, I'm proper scared of heights, but we was right up the top. And you felt like when you were walking...
What stadium was it?
O2 Arena.
O2 Arena, okay.
Yeah, so your legs were hitting the chair in front. You was nearly going over.
Yeah.
And me hung over, and now I just didn't move. I sat in that seat, didn't go to the toilet. And now I'm at the front. But that was my first in on boxing. And then, but obviously I've been going ringside with me and my business partner from this office back in the day. We go every ringside event. And then I was like, I want to get into it. Like I've seen it, I know I can do something. And then our next guest on this show, Will Jones, my business partner, was training.
Okay.
Business partner, his name's Ade. But he was training, doing pads with him. And he went, come up there and watch. Obviously, he probably just wanted me to film him. And I went up there and watched him, and kept going there. Then all the pros come in, and Ade's good enough to train with the pros, even though he's not licensed. But he's up there with them, quality unbelievable.
Is Ade ever going to turn pro?
Possibly, or it could. He's now got like a Misfits type style management company called Spa Management.
Yeah,
Shout out
he's
Steve-o.
sort of involved with Steve-o.
Yeah,
right.
So they could take off. I think just need to be a bit of kick up the bum and get things done. You know what I mean? Like, you know how I work. I'm hands on, and that's why we work well. He was calm and patient, and I was rah. So like our kind of relationship really in boxing. That's my relationship with Ade and Sales. But anyway, moving on, constantly going to shows. Met Will, and then we were sitting on Will's gym. On his ring, and he was like, why don't you do something? Like, you should do something in boxing. And he went, like, your brain and how you're thinking, just go out and be a whip for 3 years, he said. I said, what's a whip? He went, no, the one that takes all the gloves and that to the the boxers, sort them out, get them gloved up, and then send them out. I was like, I've been a director of a company now for like 5 years.
Yeah.
That like felt like going back a bit, but not discrediting them, because Simon Whip is definitely the best whip I've ever been involved with. He's unbelievable. Like, he takes all the stress off you. Everything's labelled, and where I label things in that, he's like, wow, you've made my job easier.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So anyway, I was like, I don't want to do that. They said we need a license for 3 years before you can be a manager. And I was like, a manager like Lee, and then Lee was meant to come to the meeting, but something popped up quite important, I believe. And I was like, well, I can help Lee out, can't I, in the background, you know? And so messaged Lee, and listen, Lee's not let anyone in, because he's just been Lee Eaton from the start, and you can imagine how many people have asked him, get a leg up, and he ain't done it. And then with me, he was still backed off a bit, but he was like, so you've got to do this. I went, let me introduce myself to a few of the boxers. As you can see out there, I bought everyone kits and that. I sent them out kits. Everyone was so proud of it. And then he noticed, no, my business brain and the way we're doing things, like, I've attracted people to his company now. And then that was just going down that route. And I just said to him, it's very hard for me, like, not to be at the front of a business, you know what I mean? And it wasn't my business, he was just teaching me. So I was just being nice in the background, helping him with boxers, you know. They were coming to me talking, and then I talked to Lee, get back to him. Now he's got Abdul that does that, and he does his social media. Shout out Abdul.
Big up Abdul.
He's the man,
Abdul.
mate.
I love Abdul. We need to get Abdul on this podcast at some point.
Love to. You could probably fit there. You could fit
It
there.
could fit on this little stall here. Do we need this?
Yeah, it's got...
You really like this, don't you?
Yeah, I made it.
Oh, it's just...
But then, so then from that, I thought, what can I get a license at in boxing straight away? And it was being a promoter. And I looked at it and I thought, now that is a bit of me. You've got to sell, you've got to arrange, organise, you know, all my best things.
And as you say, you want to be the face of it as well.
Yeah.
It's very much.
And like, I'd have an idea, and Lee will tell you this, Lee will be like, no, you can't do that.
No, Johnny, nah. nah. This is not in boxing, nah.
Yeah, and then I was like, I want to do a prize fighter. Like I told him for EBO.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to do a prize fighter, but I don't want 4 men, yeah? And then we'll give the winner $6,000, the runner-up $4,000, and the rest $2,000 for entering. But they've got to sell $2,000 worth of tickets. But it pays for itself. And he was like, no, they won't accept it. We was in Dubai watching Nina Hughes fight at the time. I was like, it's all right. Like, that's what I want to do, my own promotion, because my own ideas, I know I will get them to work. Even if they don't, I will get them to work somehow. And then there was like many things that I was like wanted to do, but it wasn't really seen to be done in small hall. And I just said to him, like, I'm going to change small hall boxing. I promise you now, I'm going to change it. My views will definitely be like, how's he doing that? But the problem is I have loads of friends that are business owners because I come from a business background where we all go out for meals together. You know, I'm still in touch with them all, and they want to see me succeed. You know, like if I wanted my tax done, I go and see my friend who's an accountant. If I wanted a barber, I go see. That I mean, and they're like, we like boxing. Want to come to your shows? Want to make you up there with the big boys? So they've been sponsoring me. So with the help of their sponsorships. Like, I see a lot of shows cancelled, but mine don't, because the sponsorship's covering the show, thank goodness, you know what I mean? But from that, it was just, I done my interview. So I had an interview with the board, and I'm not very good at reading anymore. Since I left school, like, hand on heart, I'm not very good at it, I'll read a piece of paper, and I'll get distracted, my phone will go for work, and then I'll be gone. So I was like, right, I need to give this 1,000,000%. So phone went away. I then read the book. This book's about this big. Yeah.
I remember seeing your like little Facebook updates. Yeah. Like in bed, you've just got this book.
Yeah.
Shah's training you as well.
That's it.
It's a lot. I was thinking, can he do this?
No.
Is he going to be able to pass this?
I'll be honest, it was the toughest thing, because this little book, some of it's wrote in like old school English and that as well, because it's really old school. Like, very outdated, if I'm being honest, and the rules are crazy. But then I'm going through it, and I only read the promoter's part. And then I rang the board to say I'd like to come in for an interview, like I'm ready now. And they asked me a few questions. I said, I've only read chapter 9, the promoter's part. And that is actually chapter 9, ain't even chat shit, you know what I mean? And they was like, nah, you've got to do the whole book. You've got to know everything. And I was like, give me another month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I said, Shah, I've got to do this. Like, I've been putting it out there for a reason. I've stuck it all over my socials as pressure. Phone away again. Bang, bang, bang. I'd read it. I'd write it down. I'd read it out loud from what I wrote down. And then I'd read the book, like constant, print it off, write it down, shred it, do it all again. And then at night, my wife come in at 9 o'clock. I'd give her my notes and then she'd read it out. And then she'd stop and then I'd read the next paragraph. Like, that's how much I remembered it.
And you're doing this whilst you're running a solar panel company as well?
Yeah. So whilst running the renewable energy company and my house company, and I was at the time trying to get a gym. So I was constantly on the go. And at this though, it was just a passion, a drive. I was thinking, I know there's a gap in the market for me. I know this is the one. Not short term, long term, you know?
Yeah.
And then, I went to the interview. And at the time, there was three different groups there. There was me, Adam Azim's cousins and family to be his manager, and a man called Duncan. And then Duncan's gone in, like quite suave, well-spoken man, gone in at no problem. I was like, wow. It made me more nervous. Yeah. And then me and the other teams were talking and they were saying about how much should the boxer get paid on the night and how much should be paid after. And I knew all the answers. So I was telling them, they were telling me I was wrong. I was like, nah, I'm definitely right. I've literally just done this part on the train here. They went in, they got that question, said my answer, and it was right. You know what I mean? But one of them got kicked out. And I was like, I'm nervous now. You know, like, this was, for me, was my next step of life that was going to see me all the way through. So I was more nervous than anything in my life. And I've sat in there, and they could read me, you know, and I was shitting it. And then they were going to try and play with me a bit. And then they started asking me questions, and that's it. I just went off on the book, just said all the answers, then went on to the next bit I know they're asked, and just listed everything. They went, no one likes to know it all, slow down. And I was like, I said, I'm nervous. I said, I ain't going to lie to you. I put my cards on the table. I want this more than anything. And I've tried harder than this than anything in my life. And I've shown my kids at home that revise, if something interests you, you give it your all, you get something from it. You know what I mean? And this, for me, that was the best thing I've ever done in front of my kids. Because they see that daddy, he might be a joker. He might be constantly on his phone and, salesman, blagging life. But when it come to it, he got his head in the book that was about this big again, and he got something from it. And from that, I got a little badge to say I'm a promoter. And then my last show, I actually see one of the guys from the interview, Duncan, suave. He was Gideon Jonas' strength and condition trainer.
Okay.
And I went to him, I met you. He was like, you're the promoter. I was like, yeah, do you remember me? He went, nah. I went, yeah, I met you at my interview. You went, I didn't remember you. I went, oh. Well, I passed my interview. I made it as a promoter. I see you made yours as well, yeah. And then we had a laugh. And he had me in, he wants a box on my show now. Cool. But yeah, that is how Top Tier started. So Lee Eaton, Will Jones, and a lot of drive and passion.
Love it. What a story. We should clip that up.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so.
With the captions.
No, it's too long. I can't.
You get an app that does it, man.
Right, before we carry on, we're going to take a quick hydration break, brought to you by the best. Well Hydrate. In the world of boxing, it's all about being at your peak. And there is one name that stands out when it comes to hydration: Tyson Fury. That's right. The Gypsy King himself relies on the ultimate hydration solution. It's Well Hydrate. Now, I've got to let you know that Well Hydrate is not your ordinary sports drink. It's an absolute game changer. Their electrolyte waters and 10 or 20 gram protein waters are packed full of vitamins and minerals, designed to keep fighters and athletes just like you performing at their very best. It's low calorie, sugar and fat free. It's almost too good to be true. So if you want the best, don't settle for anything less than Well Hydrate. Tyson Fury and other big names in sports trust it, and so should you. If you head over to wowhydrate.com and use promo code TOPTIERWOW, you get yourself an exclusive listener discount. That's what you get for listening. That's www.wowhydrate.com, promo code TOPTIERWOW. So it's a huge thank you to our sponsor, Wow Hydrate, for keeping fighters like Tyson Fury hydrated, and of course helping us all strive to be the best in the ring and beyond. Now, it's back to the content. So then that leads us to my company now, which is Top Tier. And Top Tier, to get to the next level, I've always said, YouTube boxing's sick, but you know why it's sick? Because all the social, all the content and whatnot. And that's where Matthew, you come in. Smither D, the legend, 100 million views on YouTube. And we've known each other a while, haven't we? And worked together well. And we have a great bond. Obviously, wives happen and everyone goes their separate ways, kids, you know what I mean? Separated from the mum. So then obviously my weekends are drawn apart and you support Tottenham. So obviously life becomes a little bit separate. Tottenham.
did have a West Ham on shirt earlier, but my wife's idea.
We agreed to change.
So didn't look like the same video. Charlotte's idea. Well done, Char. You're always right. And then cut that. Yeah, and then my idea was to bring you in and say, look, come in, take care of the media, and when the media proper pops off, you know what I mean, YouTube's all yours, and the boxing's mine, because what I feel is we are bridging that gap, and that gap is being bridged by shit like this. Can I swear on this?
Yeah, it's your thing. You can swear whatever you want.
Oh, great.
You swore in like one of the clips that we uploaded the other day.
Oh, shit.
But what you want. Do what you want,
at the end of the day, I knew if I build a small team, which don't need loads, because
You don't
You see me, I'm hands-on. Like I asked you to do something, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to do it now. I've done it. But I like to be hands-on. I like to get everything done. And then one day, you know what I mean? Like, we've got a big media day coming up, haven't we, where we're going to be at Lakeside Shopping Centre, hiring a ring, getting in there, shout out Unibox. Like, I'd like you and a team like to sort all that. I sort what goes on in the ring. You sort everything that comes out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think if you're going in terms of like the shows, I feel like I come on a little bit late for the very first statement. You'd already like laid down some things. So I've come into it. I'm like, probably wouldn't have done this. Probably wouldn't have had that. I probably wouldn't have had this.
And the quality.
The quality, I think, has slowly got better.
Yeah,
so I feel like the last show was... I'm going to predict that this show is going to be the best one in terms of just like a look and a feel and a vibe.
Yeah.
In terms of the boxing that happens in the ring, that's whatever happens. But I think in terms of like looking like a proper swish promotion...
Let's be honest, the boxing in the ring, that's all on me.
That's your job, yeah.
But the thing is with that's a gamble, because for me, like the fight of the night last time was a fight that, it was going to be a good fight, but not that good, and look how good it was. So you could get that as the first fight of the night, then the rest of them could be shit. You know what I mean? But
you never know.
The thing is if you go back on my Instagram, before you become a partner in the Instagram, you look at the posts, they're messy, they're all over the place. Yeah. And then I thought I had good posters. At the time I liked them, but now I look at my posters and think...
Oh, they're sick now. Yeah. It's because we're taking the time and we're like sort of refining everything. And we'll probably say like on the next show in Feb, we'll look at this one and go, yeah, but there's still things that we can improve on. And you were saying it as well, when we was at that show...
Me and you
we wasn't even watching... Well, we was looking at it, but we was looking around like, could we put a screen up there? Could we have a different logo spinning up there? What can we do to make this feel a little bit better? And we're already doing those bits.
I sent you a photo of the backdrop, didn't I?
Yep.
The backdrop. So they were... what was it, printed on like vinyl or something? They get creased, didn't they?
Yeah, so the lights reflect off it. They do get creased.
Footprints where I put it in.
We were, last media day, we were scrubbing them off. They're not coming off. No, they're not coming off.
No, Teddy was getting out of it. But and then now I've got like a fabric one. But the thing is about top tier, like I've got to be honest, like everybody becomes part of the team and they actually care. Shout out Q, you know what I mean?
Big up Q.
Abdul. Then you got TS, Total Sands. They care about how my night is more than anyone I've ever seen. Like they were in tears on the first show and tears of happiness in the second show.
Yeah.
And then we've got Unibox, who set up the ring, and they're just unbelievable. He tells me, son, everyone asks me, how can I get them on your show? Can I have a word? And all that, and that's it. And everyone just little messages like, oh, have you thought about doing this? Like I put a post out about, the lanyards, the back of them, like having like the running order that would help me out. And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. You know what I mean? Someone wrote on it, it can change though, can't it, in the morning? Yeah, it can, but if you get the gist of it, mate, you know what I mean? Like, don't be a spoil sport. But that's boxing, and things is very last minute. But I think that's what's stepping me away from every other promoter as well, is I'm not last minute. Like my show's matched now for December done. Yeah. No one's done that.
And when it changes, when someone drops out or something happens, you're reacting.
I don't sleep until it's done. I can't sleep.
It's another name for a show.
What's that?
Reaction.
I like the one you said earlier though, very much so.
Just that one. Yeah,
it's madness.
If you're new to Top Tier, by the way, there's a different name for each show. So the very first one was
statement.
We made a statement. The next one was
momentum. We
gained momentum. We took that momentum from the first one, went into the third show, which was called
resilience.
And I think we showed great resilience. During that time.
Yeah, and now what's this one called?
Established. So after 1 year of boxing shows, you would agree? I felt that way. I feel like we've established ourselves in the scene as the best small hall promotion in the game.
Inside and outside the ring.
Yes, yeah.
No, it's not just, it's the whole...
The whole package.
That's the word I was looking for.
The package. Yeah.
Package. Because I can put on what I do in the ring, but I couldn't do it without my sponsors. I've got to keep saying that because the amount that costs to set up a show is 4 times what my mentor Lee's show cost. Yeah, 4 times. That's why he was telling me it can't be done, because the ticket sales don't cover it. And yet they didn't have sponsors. You know what I mean? So he's telling me it can't be done, which is fair. He said, I don't want you to get burnt, because he get burnt on low budget shows, whereas mine was like 4 times as much. So how can you do it?
Yeah.
And that's the best thing about me. You tell me it can't be done, I'll go out and do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, for me, it was just, I knew I could beat everything. And as we were saying about the package, inside and outside, I don't think we can be matched. I don't think we can be matched. But obviously now we've got, when you come out and make a show called The Statement, I told everyone I'm going to make a statement. And then now we've got all the media wrapped around us, because they come to the shows and they are real 50-50 fights. And that's how I was getting to. I lost my way a bit. I don't know if you noticed. But the reason we get people on the show is because of TS and MRL, like they're the lighting and the LEDs and that, is because of the quality of their production that we get that. Yeah. They want to come out to the big walkouts. Not every promotion can afford that. No. You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you now, I would have lost like 60-70 grand on every show if it weren't for my sponsors and me. Because what
that's the thing, like a lot of small hall shows could do that, but they'll be taking the profit out of it as well. They'll only maybe do one every blue moon. Yeah,
like a special one.
But you're setting the standard. That's
top tier. That's in the name.
That's the bare minimum that you want to have.
Yeah, there's no less.
And we're already saying, like, how can we make that better?
Yeah, with the little extra LEDs.
Yeah, what can we do? What can we do? So
we know that, but that's what I'm getting at. Like, I am different to every promoter, because before I even put out one fight, I sold 15 tables. I put out one fight, sold another 5. I couldn't sell any more tables, because now every boxer's only got 2. The beauty of that, though, is every table you see there is a sponsored table. So it's only going to be high end. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they can all network with each other, because that's what it's about, sponsoring boxers, isn't it?
We should do a networking day as well, because I appreciate that you want to do, like, people can network. Yeah. But I think we should do a little top tier networking day.
Yeah, it would work.
Bring everyone in.
Yeah, we did have a table for it, but
get some get some pizzas in.
Yeah, some pizzas.
Yeah. Pizzas is good. It's good because, like, just cut it up. Yeah. There's like eight different slices.
Just take
so many different flavours.
Just take one. You know what I mean?
Just grab one, mate. It's fine.
And have a wow hydrate with it.
What's your go-to pizza?
I've got to be honest, they go straight through me. Bit too much information there, but no, they go straight through me. So, but it would be a meat feast.
If they go straight through, why couldn't you just step back a little bit and just go margarita?
No, still go straight. It's the dough.
The dough.
Yeah, it's the dough.
Yeah.
Where was we?
Domino's do the other one, don't they?
Gluten free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have that.
Try it.
I done an intolerance test the other day, and I'm allergic to everything, so I need that.
We need to get that. Anyway, so we spoke about sort of how it started, different roles within this place, how we improve. If we do continue to improve, what sort of goals are we going to be hitting in the future? Where do you want to be? I know you've spoke about it on different interviews, and you sort of like step back a little bit. You said originally I want to be in the big stadums, but actually you feel like
Big Boy looked in his first interview telling everyone I want to be at West Ham Stadium and that. Yeah. But listen, no one doubted me either.
No one said.
No one said nah. At first, if I was like, I met Abdul. This is how I met Abdul. So I met him at a TM14 show. Lee said, go and shadow these, go and have a little look how they do things and that. I said, but I won't be doing it like anyone else. But I'll come and look, get a feel of it, get to know people and that. And I met Abdul and we really got on well. You know what I mean? But it was a sad night for me. My wife was going through a bit of trauma that night and I was on hold to 101. That's how much I was going to do. I couldn't let someone down for the first one. Yeah. And then after show me, I went to hospital and had a bit of bad news. But yeah, where was we? Oh yeah, Abdul. But I met him in boxing and I think like he's one of the nicest people. And then I now have got him working with us at shows like Money and whatnot. Like he all controls. I give him a bit of responsibility, but he's someone that should be making a lot of money from boxing because he's got a lot of connections and a lot of clean heart. And one thing I've noticed in boxing is everyone likes to shit on each other, or everyone likes to backstab, talk about each other. Like it's not nice in some parts, and then like sometimes nice people finish last, as my mate Perry says. But
oh mate,
you know what I mean? But then I feel like stay true to yourself. Like I was in here after that last weigh-in day and I was tested. Yeah. And the old John Clark nearly come out in that weigh-in. Even my daughter was worried, you know what I mean? And I was like, I'm not going to be like how people expect people to be in boxing. I'm staying true to myself. I build a good team around me. So you've got Abdul, me, you know what I mean? Who else do we really need? And that's the lighting. They will stay with me. My whip will stay with me. Shout out Simon Legg. You know what I mean? The managers I work with, they will stay the same because I think to be better than everyone else, I need to be around the best as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then you've got Q on the cams.
Q, unbelievable.
And then you've got, in terms of like familiarity, you're bringing back Ali Drew every single time for like media days and the night itself. Well,
when we started, she taught me how to do media. She was like, this needs to be here, maybe get this, like, right, you go then we'll do this. Like, I had a crazy idea of pick ping pong balls and then whatever colour ping pong ball got, that's what colour glove you was wearing, and that's how I got rival. And so I have all these crazy ideas, but then it's up to people like you and Ali to implement them and make them work because I can have the idea, but I wouldn't even know where to get them 3 cameras from. Look, 1, 2, 3. I wouldn't know where to get them from. You know what I mean? And it's great that I've built that team now that has to work. So you're all very, very valuable to the squad. And I just have to keep having them ideas, keep pushing and getting everything in the right place. But going back to my goals, it would be, we will end up in a big stadium one day. You know what I mean? But I ain't even thinking about that now. That's leapfrogging. I want to be the best small hall promoter there is. And I know I am. I've done 3 shows, coming up 4. The people that ring me every day, the ex-pros, the ex-world champions that are saying how refreshing to have someone come in with the passion you've got to put on these type of shows. Because the only way I can liken it is, you know when you're young and you play football, but you're good, but you're not good enough to make it, but you deserve something special for the talent that you got. And then you get in your school team and you might end up playing at Southend, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you always remember, you know what I mean? Like you played at Southend, mine was like great to have Southend, like Crystal Palace, you know what I mean? But one I didn't get to play on was Arsenal, and then we got to the final, but I wasn't able to play with the school. But
was it Highbury at the time, or Emirates?
Yeah.
Highbury,
yeah. I don't think, no, sorry. I went out to play the semi-final, but the finals at Highbury, we didn't make it anyway, and I was glad. But, and I just think, like, the boxers on my show, like, some of them might ever get to be on big TV channels, you know what I mean, or big TV walkout feels. So before we even got a little Sky package, you know what I mean, get to be on their shows, their channel, sorry, I was like, I want to give that boxer that feeling of walking out like he's on TV, and then afterwards, my best thing about sales was my aftercare. I didn't do a deal and run away and laugh and count my money. I stayed with them. I made sure they understood all the products, and if anything went wrong, it got replaced within 24 hours. So I got a very good reputation from doing sales like that, and that's how I took into boxing. So the boxers come on the show, and afterwards I'm not like, cheers mate, thanks for putting your life on the line, see you later. I was like, nah, here's some promos, here's your photos, use them on all your other posters, they're nice, you know what I mean? And there's some lovely reels and videos and a live the full fight for you as well. Like, have all that. They're like, oh, how much do you have to pay? I was like, what? So no, you paid with a 50-50 fight on my show. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's how we get the 50-50s, is by giving them that treatment. So yeah, that is where my future will be the best small hall promoter, and then I'll flirt with going above in time. But for now, it's about being the academy for the big boys.
Opportunities have come as well.
Yeah.
And I think, it might be small hall at the moment, but I think naturally it might just
have to get bigger,
just grow. And we've even spoke about, like, it doesn't need to just be a boxing promotion. You mentioned gym before. Why can't we have like a huge warehouse with a gym in it, with the boxing promotion, with a separate section where, you know, and then that's our income, because we'll have that as a venue. If other boxing promotions want to come on and use our venue, the top tier venue, then you know, you've got O2 Arena, you've got York Hall, and you've got top tier. Like, people come to top tier. It's like, I know it's crazy, but
no, it's not crazy because like you think this now. Like, was it crazy what we're doing now? When we on my first show, bit nervous, couldn't look at the camera. Now look at me.
Yeah, sitting here with me.
Yeah, with you. You're used to it.
Like absolute royalty.
Oh yeah, what 100 million views, aren't you?
Something like that.
No. Oh, yeah, look at him.
Get me.
You blushing?
Nah, never blush.
No, never blush.
But yeah, so obviously the 50-50s are one thing. At times we have had to bring in the journeymen.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm new to the boxing
Yeah,
scene.
you did have a clue, did you?
Well, I knew what a journeyman was.
Yeah, but not how they was really. How often they was as well.
My God, I've had. It's weird because I don't think journeymen get the respect that they deserve.
No.
Because I've really looked into it.
Skill in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like from what I understand is they can fight every single week. Okay?
7 days. Yeah.
Every 7 days.
Yeah.
And like I'm starting to know some of the names
Yeah.
like Brian Castro and
yes. I love Brian. He messages me every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Johnny.
Hello, Johnny. When's the next show?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Hello.
who's the other one? Is it Bernan Sanchez? Is it?
Yeah, Berman
Sanchez.
Yeah.
But it's just like where I've been doing all the graphics and stuff, and I'll like do all the tally of the tapes, and I'll look at the boxes that we've got on. The records. I'm bang on box rec at the moment.
And then you see he's fought him. He's
Sanchez. Sanchez everywhere. He's just been everywhere.
Yeah, but it seemed like who he's fought before he turned to journeyman. He was like top world class level.
Yeah, and that's what I was looking at. He was like he went on like a really mad run, didn't he?
Yeah.
And it's almost like one loss. It's like game over now.
Well, it's not that. It's so the boys on my show every 3 months. Yeah, so I just say they've earned $3,000 on that show.
Yeah,
that's every 3 months.
Yeah,
but
in between,
journeyman can earn £1,500 a week.
Yeah,
and that's like £1,500 a week. So how many $3,000 into that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a lot of money.
It's crazy. It's crazy because I saw Kyle Pav.
Yeah,
he's actually my cousin got married to his cousin.
Oh,
and
you didn't tell me you was related.
Well, we wouldn't be, would we?
Yeah, cousins, second cousins.
My cousin, if my cousin got married to his cousin.
Oh no, fourth cousin.
Once removed. What is all that?
I don't know.
I don't get it. Anyway, he was talking about he was talking about maybe I'm going to go down the journeyman route, and I was like,
yeah, he's a journeyman. He's a journeyman.
But no, like properly go for it, like every week go for it. And
I hope he does.
I looked at the time because I'd only just like it was only after the first show, I think. No, the second show. I was like, journeyman, nah. But now I've looked into it more. Like, my God, like,
easy work. So if someone like him, let's take him for an example.
Yeah.
I don't want him to do boxing no more, and he's not. He's retired now. You know what I mean? But
although I did see a post of him in the gym the other day.
Yeah, he works there.
Oh, he works there.
Yeah, he works there. That's what I'm saying. So
What's he up to?
PT and trains kids and works in a college boxing.
What a guy.
Yeah, no, honestly. So someone like him, that knowledge, the skill set, just in the 50-50 fights, it comes a bit unstuck. That's all it is at a certain level, yeah? And then obviously if he was being a journeyman, he might get hurt. So it's not really worth it for him. But maybe people in their debuts to fight free, he could do, you know what I mean? But then, yeah, it's hard because he always lives in the gym, he trains in the gym, he's always going to train boxing.
Looks great as well.
Yeah, looks unbelievable, doesn't he? You know what I mean? And then that's all right for them, you know what I mean? But as long as you've got the skills not to get hurt, it's all right. You can constantly earn that 1,500, but then sometimes I feel like if someone's forcing that lifestyle a bit or being healthy, fit, and then being a journeyman, it might hurt themselves a little bit more as well. Whereas someone like Pav, like I think he's made for that, but yeah, he give it a go, didn't he? That's the one thing. He's come on my shows and he's give it a go, and he retired. Like I see him at them EBA shows with Lee Eaton to the pro. You know what I mean? And he was in my tournaments.
Followed him all the way
he
through.
said, and then I was a bit upset, you know what I mean, after he lost two knockouts on my show. And his wife wrote to me and said, you do realise the money you earned on your show, you got to take us all on a family holiday, so thank you. And
That's
I was
nice.
like, I said, you know how bad I feel? You know what I mean? I said, I feel like terrible, but I've seen nice things. And then I had that idea, didn't I? That deer thing that you made, beautiful graphics.
Yeah.
And then that's where she wrote to me. Because she knows that as a promotion we care.
We do care. But yeah, like back to like the whole, like we're talking like, journeyman.
Yeah.
I looked at them as a bit of a, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, why? And I didn't get it. It's like, if you have turned pro, why are you not?
Yeah, see.
And there's two sides to this for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you agree, and I don't know if anyone else agrees, but it annoys me that people think that they have to go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fights, 10 and O's through journeyman.
Yeah.
I see that as stat padding.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
No, I'm with you.
But then I do see it from the other side. It's like, okay, because I'm sure amateur and pro is a completely different game.
Yeah, different styles.
So it's getting you used to it. So maybe 1, 2, 3 fights.
Yeah.
But don't go like, you see these people on 10 and 0 and you think, oh, I might be special.
Yeah.
And then you look at who they've fought and it's all...
Because you know Boxrec there.
Yeah, and all they've fought is like people with like 124 losses. And you think...
And then 6 wins,
Yeah, and you just think, well, is that a genuine record then?
Yeah, that's padded. Yeah, it's called a padded record, isn't it? But if you're, for instance, fighting a slick boxer, that's one learning. The next fight, you're fighting a power puncher, 2 learning. Then the third is southpaw, so it's left-handed, still learning. You know what I mean? And you're going up, or you think, well, I want to drop down and wait, see what their power was like. Yeah, like I love all that learning. Yeah. But then when do you step up? Yeah. Because when you're going to step up, a lot of boxers that you've noticed on Boxrec retire on step-up night.
Right.
Or after that first fight. Because Mayweather's made everyone think you got to have a 15-0 record.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I love the people that Kevin Revell. You know what I mean?
They get beat, they come back.
Get beat, come back. I don't care that I lost. I thought I won, but I'll fight again. Who do you want me to fight?
I can't remember who it was. Obviously, where I'm on the top tier socials, I just see all these sort of things. But there was one guy that sort of lost a few years ago and went down a few ranks, and he's just come back and he's like world champion. I don't know what way, I don't know who he is, but it's you can ultimately every single boxer on this show and any boxer wants to become world champion.
Yeah.
And whether you've got a couple of losses next to your name, I think that just shows resilience. Coming back from
exactly that. And then you go to like Tyrone King, you know, and Lorenzo. Lorenzo actually lost one, and then when we were saying it was a 50-50 with him and Tyrone, I was saying, well, Lorenzo's been in a sticky situation before, he'd have learnt from it, you know, and then when it got sticky in Tyrone's first 50-50, would have he of panicked and Lorenzo not, you know, and then they fight to get through that on their both on their fifth fight, I think. Yeah, or was it 6th and 5th? Maybe, I might be wrong. But Tyrone didn't panic. No. He got up, recouped, and then knocked Lorenzo down, and he got counted out. But for me, like you said, resilience was shown. But for me, it shows them that they had 50-50s and they learnt from that. And then the next learning fight now won't be a journeyman. It'll be someone similar around that for Tyrone. And then maybe a title. You know, like I would like to have him fighting for a Southern area on my show, if I'm being honest. But that's how we like to do it. So his first fight was a journeyman on my show. His second fight was a 50-50. Third, a title. Yes, that's the quickness. I like it. Like 4-5, then you're fighting 50-50s. I think that's how it should be. But journeyman, not talking down on them, they've saved my show 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Like last minute pull-outs. When the show called Resilience, because on Momentum, I had 14 pull-outs. And I had to book these journeymen, keep ringing them, worrying that there was fighting the week before getting cut. You know, and then not being on my show happened twice. Lost, and they cut him from the card because he lost 4 in a row. And I was like, oh, obviously he was going to lose. He was a journeyman. But that's the danger of journeyman. Whereas 50-50s, like if I book a 50-50, it's normally done. Like there's no one really putting that. They have touch wood. They don't know more, but you're pretty solid that fight's going to happen. You know.
And from a financial point of view, a journeyman, give me an idea of what like you have to do. It's not just like bringing them over and paying them. Yeah,
sometimes you might have to fly them over, put them in a hotel, taxis to and from the airport. Abdul, thank you. And then taxis to and from the event where I have Will's trainer, Will's strength and conditioning and boxing trainer, Ian. He with a black cab was picking people up, so they loved it. You know, like Spanish and French people coming over
to London.
I mean, so it worked well. But if I cut journeyman out, I'll be happy. Like, I mean, it ain't me saying bad about them, but with the money that's in this show, 50-50s, you don't really want to be paying out more money on another fighter.
No,
you want them to really be fighting at the Civic Hall where the EBA shows were, and no cameras, no filming, no one getting upset in the crowd because the other one's not fighting back properly. Whereas mine, you get knocked down and the other one's knocking him down, and it's a big war, and they're loving it. And that's where we got all the love and the attention from the media.
Yeah.
So
But to be fair, like I'll be honest, like the some of the journeymen we've got in, not we'll forget about them, but there are a few where I thought we need to get him back, just from an entertainment point of view. Gurjit Singh smashed it with the old Punjabi dances, and then
Byron Castro, good performance.
Byron Castro, against Zach, and then
Gravy Mendoza. He could go on to win something if he chose.
And I think that's the thing. Like maybe not Gurjit, but I felt like Greyman. I felt like he wanted to win. Like I feel like he was going for it.
He'd come to win.
So it's a journeyman that comes to win, and even more respect for them, because obviously if they're going for it, they're more likely to get cut.
Hurt, yes.
And then that's their wages gone, isn't it?
Yeah. And he's booked out every week.
Yeah.
So listen, it's a good job to have, and they save boxing.
Yeah.
But for me, if I don't want journeyman, then I should cut out people having debuts and that, really. But there's some people I'd like to say, I'll give you your debut, like Zach Fee. I think he'll go on to do well. And he's still young, and he's been on a couple of my shows now, But, they're needed, and obviously we're learning a lot. And I go to other shows, and then if one of our boys are fighting a journeyman that's on that show, I message their coach and say, he weren't great, mate. He weren't great. You know what I mean? I don't know if you want to fight him, because to sell tickets, you want to be in a fight. Now, take Ozzy Osbourne. Just met him today. Give him 50 more tickets. Right? He went, no one really supported me until I fought on your show. And then I had Ray Bear. And then that little video, I said, I told you, mate. If you fight fighters...
Fight of the night, wasn't it, that one?
Yeah, fight of the night, punch of the night, knockout, like, it was all of it. But if you go in there and have a fight and have a real head-on 50-50, you will get so much more out of boxing than keep fighting journeyman and then not ever giving yourself that test. Like, we know he can fight Ozzy.
Yeah.
We know that he can get tested and still come out on top. Some people might got in boxing a bit early and need more testing and still got an amateur style and whatnot. But for me, if you're a pro, surely you should be fighting like
fellow pros.
That want to win after a certain amount. But the thing is, now a lot of shows are being cancelled because journeyman foreigners are getting denied on the week of fight night from the board and all other reasons like cuts and injuries. So soon I do believe that it might be a bit harder to have a padded record like 10-0. I think it was it 10 learning, 10 earning, or 20 learning, 20 earning was the old saying. I think it'll go down to 5 soon.
Yeah.
No, because I can't see many people wanting to be a journeyman. It's a good job if you're good at it. Like, shout out Lee Hallett, one of the best in the country. Like, it's a good job to have if you're good at it. But I think it's going to be very few that will be taking it up.
It's interesting, isn't it? It is very interesting. I'm loving it though. Honestly, I'm loving this whole boxing thing. This is all new to me, so I'm learning every day.
Yes, it's new to you, and I knew it grabbed you. Like you'd leave me and then you'd send me like little graphics you've done, saying adding bits to it. I thought, I'm meant to be on the road doing your little football thing. But maybe we should do one of them, a little crossover on the road. Maybe get Limitless Hospitality, one of our sponsors, and that, get them to get us a nice
I did speak to Cal. He's going to send us somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't know where. We haven't done Chelsea yet. Might do Chelsea.
Why? Why Chelsea?
Because I ain't done them.
You ain't done them?
No, done.
Is there a reason you ain't done them? Because they're rubbish at the minute.
No, well, I don't give a damn.
That might add a bit more to it, though.
Yeah. We ain't done Arsenal. We ain't done Chelsea. Did Fulham. Did Spurs. Did West Ham.
Oh, you done West Ham?
Yeah, done West Ham. And they've actually got a really good table there as well. You missed out on that one.
No, I see Matt at the last West Ham game, Europe. Yeah, I went down the stairs and with my son, like, Johnny! So I sat to mate. He was going to Newcastle the next day. He had a sweet talk to his wife. So he was being a polite, young, sober man.
A polite, young, sober man. But yeah, that was our first little...
podcast. How do you think it went?
Don't know. How do you think it went?
Did I ramble on a bit? Because there's lots I've said that I haven't said that I wanted to say as well. But
we'll say another time.
Yeah, it's just about the sponsors, how we got on and how we're smashing it for them. But they'll see, won't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll see.
No, but I enjoyed it. To be fair, it's just like chatting, isn't it? That's what it is. With a camera, free camera, 2 lights.
I don't know how this is going to look, but hopefully it looks better than the last one.
Imagine if the mic weren't on.
Oh.